Welcome back to another session of our Seregen campaign, everyone. This is session 74 of our, wait, session 73 of our campaign, where we are taking names and running out of bubblegum. But in the process, we are getting ever closer to whatever is next. So, to see what's around the corner, we will be getting there. But before we do that, let's let the party introduce themselves.
What is going on? It is I, the Banewall, and if I sound different, it's because I shaved my beard. It is my pleasure to play Belzian Gilcus, the half-elf monk. Hiya!
Hiya.
I'm Avidus, and I play Roger Mays, the Wood Elf Assassin. Wood Elf Assassin? Yes, he would.
Absolutely. Ulrich is unfortunately not here, so I will be DM roleplaying him for today. He's got kind of a sore throat today, though, so we'll see how much he talks.
On account of being the vampire.
Yep.
I'm Jaeger. I play Jorvik, Venison Bringer. He shoots stuff with the bow. It's pretty cool.
I'm a comic, and I play Zippo, the Kobold Sorcerer. And in my last stint before playing this character, all the characters I've played have been don't think, hit it with an axe character. So let's see if I can remember spells.
And I, of course, am the Wombat of DM, playing everyone that the party is not. So, let's get to what happened last session. And quite a few things did. The party crossed over the border of the wall and back into Seregen. Something they haven't done in several months in campaign, several years out of campaign, or in real life, I should say. At that point, the map changed, and we saw some of the damage that was done when the wall came down. A lake that used to be down in the Krata flowed into Seregen, flooding a large region. The wall markings disappeared on the map, and of course, many other things that the party doesn't know about. So I won't tell you. But that being said, the party made their way north as promised to Roger, who said, if we cross, we must go here. So we did. Here is the 3 points where the wall once connected. Because the wall was, of course, not one wall, but really three walls that connected at a center point. So they spent the time there and on the way there, communicating with allies alike in the three regions, trying to organize and figure out what the hell is going on, especially since the shadow of the wall is still causing some sort of disruption that doesn't let spells through. For whatever reason, there's no visual tell or anything of the sort, just the imprint where the wall was, and just a uneasy feeling, of course. So, uh, while the party is debating topological standards, they gathered a bit of information. First of all, they convinced the Sergeant army to come their way, and they're marching forward to meet them at Licht. They found that the barbarians were successful in defending the capital of Saraseta against Orcus, or at least Orcus's forces, and have moved to the tear itself that was found in the Eternal Clans to the northeast. Oop, I did the wrong zoom. Into the northeast over here, so we can see the tear, and that they also said that they constructed a small version of the wall around the tear to try and contain the demon forces and are defending it there. But they sorely needed reinforcements, so the group reached out to Necrata to send forces up their way, and there are forces en route, and they're trying to amass the cavalry, of course, from Jane. The problem is, and the problem that is ever plaguing the party at this point, is distance. Time and distance are their worst enemies. They know that they need to be moving forces as fast as possible, but unfortunately, each square on this map is a day's walk. So you do the math when we have something completely across the world that they need to get to with an army. So that is something that is ever on their minds. But first, to the west, to Licht, to meet an army. I believe we were going to camp out here, or we're in the process of camping out here in the center. I believe that is where we left off. And I can just double check that slightly real quick. I'm going to have to ignore a call from my mother.
No, roll up a character for her. Put her on speaker.
We have a character for her to play.
We do. Let's see. Yeah, so I think we are at the point where it's time to rest or decide what to do next. I think we, and correct me if I'm wrong, Roger. So Roger has been using up from a box of message scrolls that the Queen of the Vampires gave to the party, up to a point. Of course, some of that was being utilized on the other side by Jordan, a former member of the party who has the spell message, but of course he has to initiate it. So they've been utilizing the scrolls as they needed to for other denizens, but also to Jordan himself. I believe you're down to 5 left, correct? You've used 5?
I know we've used at least 5. I know we talked about using more. I don't know if we did use more.
I don't think we have used more.
I don't remember planning out the 25 words that many times.
In my notes it says we've used 7. We should have 3 left.
Okay, thank you. That's right.
Heck
There
yeah,
were several back and forths. Yes.
Yeah. We did agree that we would stop using Cordelia's scrolls when we got down to 3, so that we would have enough to contact each of the leaders one more time, without having to rely on anyone else. And I think that was where our exchange were, hey, Jordan, feel free to reach out to the party once every morning or something like that.
Yeah, and that's what he has kind of been doing when you were traveling north up to this point. And we kind of did a more general information session at that point, an information scrum, if you will, and until we got up to the center, and then you had to use it in order to communicate. So,
Grum, are we agile now?
Not everybody will get that joke, but I do.
Enough people here will get that joke that I felt it was okay to make it.
Yes. Before we rest, because I don't think it's... Are we doing the... Are we still in the night shift, or are we awake in the daytime again?
I think we're awake in the daytime again. We've been traveling in Seregen, so my assumption is we switched back to day shift or never left it.
Okay, Belzian would posit that it would be possible to send a message back to the sanctum where he used to reside before this epic adventure, to see if they might curry some favor to summon up some fighting people, other monks perhaps, if they're even still there and not flooded or invaded by demons. We only have precious 3 left, but Belzian will put forth that it's a good idea.
I mean, the previous agreement was that we would hold on to these 3 in case we needed them specifically to contact the leaders of the 3 realms. I was hesitant to go below 5, and y'all already talked 2 scrolls off of me.
Which is, I think, why I initially went with 5. I think I think
Okay,
everyone got more
that
than
is a reasonable argument. Belzian will mention that
what-
they have already sent their best fighter. So
when we meet up with Jordan, I would be happy to borrow Jordan to contact them on your behalf. But
he will certainly do it for me.
but these scrolls I want to save for such an emergency. In case we find ourselves in the same situation that Rift is in now.
Let's hope that doesn't happen. Okay, I agree with you. Thank you for reminding me.
Well, I think the thing to do is to make our way towards Licht. Is it resting time of day,
Yeah, it's
or
evening.
is it traveling time of day?
So you traveled throughout the last couple days. I can do a measurement here. So you came out, and then I think we were. Why is it snapping to that? They update. So we've been away so long, folks, that Roll20 completely updated, and no longer,
Everything's different.
yeah, no longer is in line with what it
My
used to
D&D
be.
Beyond
So
switched to light mode, and now it's burning a
yeah,
hole in my
so
eyeball.
yeah, basically speaking, actually I should have snapping. I should have snap to corner. Let's just do that, and then 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so you reached here at the end of the third day. So you kind of did your communications, and now it's time to rest. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-ish days to Licht on foot.
Well, let's rest. Let's get our 8 hours of rest so we can be ready for the daily stand up in the morning.
Good.
It's funny. Usually stand up is toward the evening because that way when somebody groans at a joke, you can say, "Thank you, I'm here all night."
Tip your server. Yeah.
All right, they don't pay me overtime, so I don't work overtime.
All right.
So who's doing
Snooze
first
time.
watch?
Okay. Not snooze time yet. Belzian can take first watch.
Let's put
Anyone else
Ulrich on
doing
first watch with
watch?
Belzian.
Put Ulrich on? Did you say?
Yeah, let's have Ulrich and Belzian do first watch.
Okay. Who's second?
I think Roger and Jaeger.
Yep, I'll take the second.
Or Roger and Yarvik.
Yarvik. Got it. And then Zippo famously well,
Let's-
sorry. Brunhild taking third watch.
And Zippo
Yeah.
is
I'm there. See, I feel like the curse is going to be broken tonight, all right? Because in my last couple of games that I've been playing in, like, especially the one at DM, I've been rolling amazing. Like, I haven't rolled below a, 13. So let's just hope, pray that it works for this game too.
Well, now you've jinxed it.
I feel like I have, actually. I have made the ultimate blunder.
I quite think I have. All right. Let's start with first watch. All right, so the rest of the group makes their preparations. The group eats dinner together, and then, of course, goes to sleep. Belzian and Ulrich take first watch. Ulrich states that he could just take all the watches if you folks want, but nobody seems to take him up on the offer of just being the only watch person.
Nope.
Belzin will note that Ulrich seems less talkative than usual, but
Less confident.
talkative.
Oh,
He certainly seems more confident. and strangely hungry.
Also, don't mind the level 3 character in the campaign for active characters. That's just me for a one shot I played. Hey, we got a subscription. Excuse me. Hey, Via. Welcome in. Thank you so much for the sub. 15 months. That's awesome. I think one more month and you get a new shiny. Or maybe it's 3 more. I think it's 3 more. It's a year and a half. Remember to sub pre-sent. Thank you very much. All right, so getting into it, let's roll for Ulrich. I said, let's roll for Ulrich. There we go. All right. All right, so Ulrich and Belzian keep watch. Any lingering questions for Ulrich, Belzian?
Certainly, but nothing that Belzian wishes to ask at this time.
Okay. So as you're keeping watch and the sun sets, you can kind of see shadows kind of grow across the plain in different areas to the west. It's fairly flat here, and you can see a bit farther than, well, normal. Of course, you're kind of used to that coming out of Necrata, but these plains just feel more familiar. I assume the group has moved back into Seregen at this point and moved a little bit away from the wall point. Is that correct? Or are you staying
so.
uncomfortable?
I think we would all be a little bit more comfortable in Sergens.
Like hugging the ground, like, ah.
All right, just making sure, because I would be adding a little bit more of a description if you were inside the wall, of course, the wall area. Okay, so yeah, ultimately you find yourself kind of trying to make out what's causing those shadows, but they don't seem to be moving at all. Just thing, maybe points of rock or tree or whatever the case might be out on the plain, just breaking up that vast plain. The sky unfolds into a brilliant sky, the brilliant lit sky of stars. I know the sky opening up into a sky is not a great description, but bear with me. I'm shaking off the rust. The stars are out. Both moons are present in waxing or waning features, and they progress across the sky during your watch. You get the sense that you're being watched, but you can't quite place where it might be coming from.
But who watches the watchers?
So, Belzian, I don't think I ever asked. Got any particular place you call home in Seregen?
Ah, yes. Before we first met for this rather unplanned adventure, you could find me at the Sanctum of Arcos, very close to Ori. It's a nice place, has lots of books. It was missing one book. You may recall I was looking for it, and we found it. I don't think we're going to return that book, so I'll have to return with sad news. But other things have come up since then.
Uh,
I'm not sure if I will get a chance to revisit there anytime soon.
Yeah, I'll take your word for it. That was an interesting place, but uh that explains why you and Ari back when we met up.
True. And I thank the 12 that I got to meet up with all y'all.
Yeah, I suppose if that book never was lost, you never would be here in the first place.
If the book wasn't lost, I wouldn't have been found.
Hmm.
It's only been a few weeks, maybe a few months, but I certainly feel faster, stronger, and able to get punched in the head a lot more.
He laughs.
I think we all are now. Stronger, faster, better every day. So, Ulrich, how's the vampire thing? You know,
Well, I'm hungry.
Belzian takes a step back.
No,
Haha,
no,
yes.
you're fine.
Even though we just ate dinner, yes.
Well, you ate. I uh we're gonna have to figure this out soon. Um
There may have to be some indiscretions in Jewel.
in Jewel, that's a little too
Or not
far
Jewel,
away.
but Lick. I'm looking at the wrong part of the map. I know where we're
Yeah,
going.
well, Licht is a little too far away too. We're gonna have to figure out something. Um,
Does it have to be a humanoid? 'Cause I know you would prefer that, but
well,
would
the
any
queen
animal
kind
work?
of implied that it's not gonna really satiate me to have animal. So, uh, I I'm a little nervous. We're gonna have to keep a watch out, not just for danger, but uh,
For snacks?
for something for me. Yeah.
How dire. Well, I hope you don't go too long. You're not yourself when you're hungry.
Well, on that pleasant note, why don't we just wake up the next group, huh?
Sounds good.
So, uh, he walks over and taps Roger.
Is it watch time already?
Yes, it is.
Yep, wake up the second watch and hit that sleeping bag.
5 more minutes, Ma.
Anything exciting on your watch?
We do get the sense that we are perhaps being watched, but it's just that feeling, you know?
I didn't
If
get
one
any
gazes
sense
into
like
the
that.
abyss, it does gaze back.
Well, have fun gazing into the abyss. Don't fall in.
Is that what kids are calling it these days?
I wonder if abyss gaze is like a genre of music. I know there's shoegaze.
I would imagine abyss gaze is mostly just deeper.
More of a
It's
rumble.
probably slower. Yeah.
It's lo-fi Enya.
With tentacles.
Sounds pretty chaotic, yeah.
It would be weird to get back to Seregen and see everything that's changed. It's been both, feels like a couple of weeks and yet a couple of years at the same time. I wonder why that is.
So much has changed.
It has
I-
been more than 2 months at this point since you've been in Seregen.
Well, for Roger, it's been over 3 years since he's been home.
Yeah.
He was on his way back to Rigladrin when the events at the start of the campaign happened, and he still hasn't made it back.
Yeah.
Is your home still there? I don't know whether my home's still there or not.
Roger pulls out the little trinket he brought for his little brother way back at the start of the campaign, the silver bracelet he commissioned. Says, I sure hope so.
Yeah, I'd love to. I know we all want to see our parents. We all want to see our loved ones, whoever we got. But at the end of this, it will be nice to. It'll be the end of all of it. It'll be nice to see what's happened, and hopefully it'll all come out for the best. But we sure are living through some interesting times.
Indeed. It took a lot of restraint to not use those sending scrolls myself to call home.
Yeah, I understand that. I appreciate taking one for the team because we all could have, we could have taken one of those for ourselves, but keeping the eye on the mission is important. But that's, it's been a lot. I know it's been a long, not just one war, now going into another war, a long 2 wars for you.
We haven't had a chance to rest since we were in Jane, if you can believe it.
I'm thinking a nice timeshare with the flying halflings. That's I think that's some good vacation time.
Some would argue that you haven't really been able to rest since Shadow stole your money. You've been you chased him ever since.
Well, there's that. We at least had a day or two to ourselves in Jane.
That's
yeah,
fair. Yeah.
since the start of the campaign, once we got off the road from Ari into Jewel, that was it.
Yeah, there was like 11 sessions where you kind of did your thing in the mines, and then things went off the rails from there.
We haven't had really the opportunity to take anything on our own time since then. Everything has been a rush.
I think Yarvik is really looking forward to stocking up on a little bit of classic Seregen sweet leaf tobacco and some duck sausage because it's been pretty slim pickings.
Indeed. Certainly, when we meet up with Jordan, if we can get a day or two of spare time to borrow his spells, I'd certainly like to send a message home.
So you bring up a good point. And you have a little sidebar about there that we know there's a lot of animosity. How are we going to handle that?
Zippo's a great member of the team, but if it comes down to the 4 of us or him, I will take 4 against Orcus rather than 1. Same goes for Ulrich.
Yeah, well, I mean, so Ulrich made his choice.
And Zippo will have the chance to make his.
Yeah, Zippo's had a lot of good opportunities. He's had an amazing adventure. But yeah, we do kind of have to be in it for the numbers. So, but I have confidence in young Zippo. I think he'll be just fine. He's whenever it's come down to it, Zippo's always made the right choice. Sometimes begrudgingly, sometimes with a little hand holding and a little leading, but he's always made the right choice.
He's got a bright future ahead of him if he plays his cards right. I don't know how to guide him.
Ulrich had a particularly good relationship with him, and I just don't know. I don't know how that's going to change now. So
Well, all we can do is hope, I suppose.
true that.
Jorvik, your bow and arrows have been kind of pestering you to shoot Ulrich ever since he turned into a vampire. While he rests in his coffin, they just keep telling you to go open it and shoot him.
Look, guys, we've had this discussion. I know you want to kill vampires. I want you to kill vampires. Everybody here wants to kill vampires. But right now, we need the vampires to kill the demons. After we kill the demons, we can go buck wild on vampires. I don't know if we're necessarily going to kill Ulrich per se, but we're going to kill a lot of vampires. I promise you, we will go on we'll have a vampire vacation. We'll see the sights. We'll shank some vampires. It'll be amazing. But we need Ulrich right now.
Listen, says Deegan. Bow to bow. You were in a vampire land. A whole land of vampires. And you didn't even manage to kill one.
We shot some, but you know how hard vampires are to
shot one,
shot.
and she got back up. That's nothing. You promised that we would get to fight vampires, and we didn't even get to fight one. You made a treaty with them. We couldn't even talk to you and tell you what to do.
It's been rough. I'll give you that. But needs must right now. Just as we were just talking about, which I know you guys were listening to in my discussion with Roger, we got to play the long game. And the long game says right now, we got to be hands off with vampires.
All right, but the next evil thing you see, don't make me take matters into my own hands, okay?
Okay. I make no promises, but we're going to get a chance to go plenty of evil stuff. Well, you know, you saw them just like I did. You know what's waiting at the end of this journey.
Bunch of motherfucking demons, yeah.
Hoorah!
You can kind of get you can kind of hear the sound of like, you know how like when you release a bow, but not like when you're releasing a bow when you've drawn it, but like you've drawn it but you decide not to take the shot and it kind of creaks as
the creak, yeah.
You can kind of hear that creak as the bow kind of releases some tension.
That's good detail. I like that. Especially since I was just shooting recently. That's funny.
Roger, with your 28 perception, it's a clear night. Any uneasy feelings you're getting, it seems to be just your natural aversion to being near a vampire. It's Ulrich that it feels like Ulrich's watching you. He's asleep. He's in his coffin, but you just have an uneasy feeling about being around. Well, that right. You probably attribute that feeling to what Belzian was telling you about earlier. Otherwise,
interesting.
The plane around you is clear. You don't see any like motion, nothing flying in the air at this point. of note. Obviously, there's normal wildlife around. Although it's not as it's not the normal run of the mill, right? There's not a lot of animals about. It's probably because you're this close to where the wall used to be, but it's yeah, there's some semblance of life kind of filtering back into this area.
Well, that's good to see. I'll mention to Yarvik that sense of unease. It's because you feel like prey. And there, and he points at the coffin, is a predator.
Funny you should mention that. I was just having a very interesting conversation about this same subject. I just don't know what to do about it.
You've been traveling with something much more dangerous for a lot longer. And Roger just pulls a knife out and smiles. And you haven't felt this uneasy before. You'll be fine.
Yeah, but you're the devil. You're the devil we know.
And I am better. But we'll get to know Ulrich in his new form better in time. He might make some people uneasy.
Yeah, he's still adjusting, right? But I don't even think his transition's complete yet. He's not even fully a vampire yet, I don't think.
And we're gonna need to find him some food.
Yeah, how does that work? I mean, humanoid?
I heard Queen did he say that ogres or trolls and things of that nature might be perfectly serviceable? I know those are native here to Seregen. Maybe we could find some.
And bipedal, so yeah, humanoid should work.
You think you could track some down on our way to Licht?
Probably.
Might save us some headache trying to feed him along the way, so to speak. Or like carrying his coffin manually.
That is largely a plains area out of character. That's largely a plains area, and that is one of Yarvik's areas of specialty for
Correct.
Wild tracking and stuff like that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Next watch, I think?
Yeah, I think so. Let's go wake up Sabo and Brunhild. Knock,
Yay!
knock, knock. The feeling of unease you have is temporary. Nothing.
I don't feel nothing.
Nothing is watching us. The feeling of unease you should but do not have is temporary. Nothing is watching you. Go to sleep.
A warm blanket of comfort descends.
Oh, let's go, Brunhild.
I called it.
I'm just gonna go to my orb at this point. Get it to be better for the party.
So I assume if Brunhild's taking watch, she needs to come out of the bag. How are you doing that?
Honestly, I assumed she was out of the bag already, because I would have been riding her this entire time.
Have you been riding her?
Yeah, that's been the plan.
Right. Then she's so
because it was like I had the
right?
I think I was supposed to have Ulrich grab her, but I was watching him because vampire.
Yeah, so we probably got her out as soon as you were in Seregen, right?
Yeah, so I can ride her in here because I know Seregen isn't as dangerous as the other places. So
yeah, which she was very thankful for. She was not happy being cooped up in that small room for so long, for weeks. You kind of go back down into your bag to retrieve the orb, and you realize that it's been quite a while since you've upkept this area. Yes, everything's still organized and sorted well, but you've had a dog living in here without really just living in this room, right? So she's been, going to the bathroom in here, things like that. There's a lot that's it's just does not. It smells more like a barn now.
Yeah, I'll prestidigitation the whole thing.
There you go. All right, cool.
Get it clean.
Thank God for magic.
Thank God for magic. Yeah.
If I could have like one spell in real life, I would want that. Just so I'd never have to look at a washer and dryer. It's like, you know what? I want to wear this shirt today. Done.
You catch a spot where there was a spot of blood, probably from the head of uh, uh, Gerard back once upon a time when you folks threw it in here. There's like a whole bunch of different markings and things like that. So yeah, you clean up the whole room.
Heck yeah. After cleaning it up, I'll come out with my orb in hand, and I'll look at Brunhild, who I assume is on guard, and just be like, "Yep," and then sit down.
Brunhild is sniffing along a trail. She's about 20 feet from the bag, kind of sniffing and like wagging her tail excitedly.
Heck yeah.
So yeah, she's following a trail. She kind of doesn't stray too far from the group and kind of looks off in the direction to the west.
That's the direction we're going. Heck yeah.
She looks back at you expectantly.
I pull out a ration and holler for her to come over.
She kind of looks back west and then looks back at you.
I go to Brunhild.
Okay. She looks up at you and then looks back west again and kind of keeps looking back and forth from there.
I'll look at the rest of the party.
Uh-huh.
I'll give like a quick scan of the area with my 3,
Uh-huh.
and then immediately just say lead the way, and then start following her.
She bolts west and goes into goes away from you and into the darkness. You hear a small cry out, which gets cut short pretty quickly, and she comes trotting back with a hair in her mouth.
Heck yeah. I will try to cook it over the fire.
Okay. All right. So you come. So there's a fire. I didn't.
Is
hear
there?
any
No, there probably isn't
fire.
a fire.
There's
Actually,
no fire. Yeah.
I am going to try to cook it with shocking grasp.
Okay.
I'm only gonna cook like a leg of it because I imagine Brunhild can eat hers raw without any issue.
Yes. She can. She could consume it raw.
Okay, yeah, I'll just take like one leg and then let her eat the rest of it while I try to cook this with shocking grasp.
Okay. So how are you cutting off the leg?
Pretty sure I have a dagger. Actually, I do not. I am not bothering the rabbit. I'm letting her eat it.
Okay.
I am watching with glee as she eats it.
The rabbit has 4 feet, in 4 hind legs and 2 front legs.
Oh,
Um,
I don't think rabbits are supposed to look like that.
and you notice this as she's kind of chomping away and tearing at it and eating strips of its flesh. And she doesn't finish it. She just kind of eats some of it and then lets the rest be.
Yeah, I'll once she's done, I'll take whatever's left,
Mhm.
and I'll kind of like clean it up a little bit with like hopefully the legs are still intact is what I'm hoping.
She's ripped off half the legs.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll set it next to me and be like, I'm gonna let the other guy see this because this isn't supposed to look like this. At least I don't think. I don't think often, so I could be right about this. Yeah, I'll wait for the rest of the party to be ready to be woken up before I
Yeah, you kind of are marveling at the hair
offer
for the
this.
rest of the night. Like, the
Yeah,
fuck
like,
is
this
this?
is 4 legs. Like, gotta be like a weaker dragon than Brunhild is.
All right. And that's the
I say,
night.
why does the larger one not simply consume the smaller one?
I don't know why that's so funny.
I get that reference.
All right, so it is morning. Roger, I assume at some point you've woken up, since you only need a couple hours, right?
Yeah, ostensibly Roger is awake through most of Zippo's watch because he would have tranced during the first watch.
Yeah.
In practice, though, he's not really paying attention because I am still obligated to get 8 hours of rest, and you have ruled that being on watch is not resting.
Correct.
So I'm kind of like chilling, sharpening knives and stuff, and not really paying attention to the outside world. I probably looked up when Zippo ran off with the dog and assumed that nothing had materially changed for our safety.
That's valid. Yeah, once Zippo wakes all of you guys up, he's gonna go to Yarvik and be like, "Hey, Brunhild caught a rabbit with 4 legs on the back of it. That's
Well,
4 lucky feet."
That is certainly a thing.
Does
Does
it
it have? I'm getting Blinky the Fish vibes. Is this like? Do you have any knowledge of what this might be, or is this just a wall mutation?
Well, I first have to just laugh because it's just kind of hilarious, the phrasing, because Zippa basically runs up to the tracker and says, "Hey, Brunhild found a rabbit with 4 legs." Because rabbits usually have 4 legs, but
but we speak Zippo, so we know what he meant, right?
But then he said on the back of it.
Yeah, no, you immediately know what he meant. You immediately know he meant 4 back legs or 4 front legs.
Yeah, well, I mean that's how I phrase it too, right? So, but it's just funny when you just picture that scenario.
Yarvik just kind of goes like, but then at the same time he's like, well, wait, that is interesting, isn't it?
You want to do a nature check, is what I'm assuming?
Have you ever seen something like this, Yarvik?
I have seen so many of these. This is the rare 6-legged wall jackalope of Seregen, blah, 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 blah.
So
I used to hunt these. So
this is that while that is an excellent an ad lib, this is kind of close. Yeah, kind of like how you have 4-leaf clovers as a mutation. There has been, you have heard of rabbits that have had 4 hind legs. They're notoriously incredibly hard to catch, and just as you suspected, as you inspect the rabbit, it does seem to have some sort of antler-like protrusion, very small, coming out of its head.
It's a jackalope.
It's totally a jackalope.
It's jackalope. Yeah.
So are all of the feet lucky if we were to avail ourselves of 6 rabbit feet?
I mean,
well, 2 of them have been eaten.
3 of them have been eaten.
True.
Yeah, those ones were less lucky.
So either yes, and Brunhild's incredibly lucky, or no, because this rabbit got caught. So
I was about to say they weren't very lucky for the rabbit, but that's true of any rabbit feet trinket that you have.
Well, that's quite a fine catch that Broomhild got there for you. So, what do you plan? You plan on keeping all the rest of the rabbit feet?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool.
You should keep the pelt too.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep the thing as it is now because she might get hungry again later.
It's a good point.
If we take a little time, well, we can skin it, and you can save the pelt and make it easier for Brunhild to eat.
That makes sense. I like that.
well role played, because Zippo would know nothing of that. So do we want to stop and do that quickly?
Yeah. I mean, Roger's got decent survival skills, although Yarvik's probably better than my paltry +5.
Let me see. Survival. Yeah, I got +6. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'll do that. So I get out the knives, do a little sharpening thing, and let's see what happens here. Well, they can't all be 20.
Being that it's been a while since you've skinned a rabbit, and one of this shape is a little bit out of your. This is the first time you've done it. You make a few, you cut a little bit more meat than you intended in some areas, but for the most part, you do fine. Just something that you make note of yourself that you'll need to kind of sharpen that skill again. But you do successfully manage to cut and seal each of the feet using wax to kind of seal the ends and heat. You kind of cauterize each foot and then put wax on it so that the exposed flesh is no longer exposed. And suggest to him to keep it in the bag of holding for a while.
Cool.
Primarily not the bag of boarding that was Jordan's, but like the actual bag of holding, the one that you couldn't breathe in if you were hiding in.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's an anaerobic space, so nothing could decompose in there.
Okay. Find somebody with one of those and throw it in there.
All right. With the rabbit mostly skinned and prepped, and the feet distributed, what would the party like to do next?
Off we go.
March towards next.
Go west, young men. Go west.
I was waiting for that joke. That's an easy one, but a good one. All right, let's do anybody who. First of all, let's talk about marching order. What is the order of march?
Probably what we traditionally used, I think. Because Yarvik is also going to kind of be on the lookout for any signs of orcs or other bipedal food sources for Ulrich, so he can get a little nausea.
Okay. So Ulrich being on left, Sippa right, you front and center, the monk the rear of that plus sign, and then Roger taking the rear.
Yep.
Sounds good to me.
All right.
Sounds all right.
Those of you who will be doing perception, I will need a perception roll for you. If you are stealthing, we will be going at half move speed for the party. If we're just doing a normal strut, then we'll be making 1 square per day.
We got a deadline. No stealth in this time.
Man, this is just like the Oregon Trail, but with less oxen. Like we're going west.
And there's nobody we can insult named Terry.
You can't be dysentery.
While we're traveling, Silva's gonna have Brindle follow the party like normal, and he's gonna be in his room.
Okay. So Brunhild will be walking. You'll be riding. Okay. All right. So the party marches west. Let's see. Yarvik and Roger both kind of as we head west see that indeed what was breaking the horizon are mostly foliage that are kind of popping up. Whoever marked on the map these trees, definitely not it. Those are several days away, but ultimately there is kind of a break up in the land every once in a while. Primarily what you see are ruins. Yes, there's a larger mass of ruins up here where a town may have been. But west, a little bit northwest of the group, more in this direction instead of due west, it seems to be a small grouping of ruined buildings, as well as singular buildings kind of dotting the horizon in other directions.
I wonder if this was a town that was kind of forcibly removed as the wall went up. Those would be some very old ruins if that was the case.
Very well could be. Or settlers, perhaps, who thought they could take it and failed. These were dangerous lands while the wall was still here.
Yep.
Whoever it was, you can say their plans got ruined.
Heh.
So the question is, will you explore any of these ruins on the way west, especially the ones kind of toward the direction you're going, or are we staying on course?
I guess the question for Yarvik is, does he think that there are any? The only thing that I would think that Yarvik is going to make deviations for is a food source for Ulrich.
Sure.
So
you could make a survival check, see what you can see about the, or whatever the check is for that special ability you have.
Check to follow tracks, hunt wild game. I would say survival would would fall under that. Yeah, that's what it is. Hold on, how do I post that? Is there a way to post this?
I believe it's next to the ability. You can just click on the ability title.
I'm not sure what all that was, but I don't know. I clicked something different than I normally click there.
Okay.
It did that.
It did the thing. All right. So I think you have advantage, and let me look at yours real quick, just to figure out what it was. So you did click a survival.
Yeah, I clicked a survival, and there was a button. So I clicked on the letters, and it popped up. It defined survival, and then there is a beyond 20. So I clicked that, and it gave me that roll instead of just doing a regular D20.
Okay, so the left one's if it was just a normal roll, and the right one's if you were rolling with advantage.
Check.
So you got a 17. Yes. All right. I will answer this roll in the form of a question. If you were living in a region, and you have been, you used to live in Jane's Reach, where would you usually take shelter? Out in the open?
Well, it depends on what I'm doing, right? What's my goal? Because we've been sheltering in the open a lot.
Yes, but I mean back to your roots. Calling back to your roots when you were living in Jane's Reach. You were
I
in
was
trees, right?
was
You're
in
either in
tree.
trees or like anywhere where there was like a shelter already made. You kind of took use of your surroundings, correct?
Okay.
So if there was anybody about, you would probably find evidence of such a thing in a ruin, right? You would see evidence of somebody was around recently. You could tell if that's where you would stay in a ruined area because you could probably make shift one of the buildings for a habitat.
So I put the question to the party: Is the diversion worth it for the potential for finding Ulrich Anash? Because we could end up with some unsavory brigands up there, or we could end up with a tasty treat.
Tasty, huh? Well,
You
I
know,
am partial to this Ulrich fellow, and do wish his good health and survival. It's not too far out.
it's generally on our way. I think. We should. I think we could risk it for the purpose of getting our guy fed before we put him in a in a town full of 10,000 soldiers.
Mm. I vote yes. Uh, what do you all think?
I think we got 2 yeses. So, what do you think, Roger?
Sure. Let's go for it. If you're on board with it, then so am I.
We are adventurers, and it sounds like an adventure.
Worst case scenario, we can make up lost time with polymorphing somebody into a pterodon and fly intellect.
I wonder when the last time the people of Licht saw a pterodon.
Well, try not to get shot at, but if all goes well, then we won't need to take such drastic measures in the first place.
Indeed.
I guess at that point the question isn't the last time, but the first time, right?
I haven't been in the neighborhood for a while.
As long as they're not even giant ass black ballista bolts, I think we're probably going to be okay.
All right. You begin approaching. What was that?
I said, we'll burn that bridge when we get there.
You've burned plenty of them. So as you approach the ruins, the rising from the grass like a broken bow of a shipwreck, you see the ruins of several buildings. Stone perimeters mark where the walls of a small outcropping of buildings once stood. There are no roofs or signs of life from where you stand. The structures have been broken away. Uh, you see evidence of foundations from where you are at the moment, surrounded by loose bricks, paving slabs. Um, any wooden supports that might have been there have long since worn away with time. Um, The crests and mounds of the old homes or buildings are long overgrown, with the meadow's grass slowly swallowing the buildings and their many memories. So, um, ultimately, I'm going to move us into that map just so you can see what it looks like as you, I
Ooh.
assume, approach. All right. So you come
Do
to
you
the
still have it
western.
marked as? Do you still have it set as nighttime? I can't. My map is black.
It's
Oh,
got a big black square.
here, let
Rectangle,
me
actually.
fix that.
I have dark vision.
Okay, Roger, you can see though, correct?
Yes.
Oh, things.
I forgot to set everybody's vision to on. It's daytime lighting, so
There we go.
there we go. All right, everyone should be able to see now.
I do see a door though.
Yes. So there is a two doors that seem to be more solid. It's the only part of the building. It goes up into an arch above it. It's the only part of that the buildings that you see that actually seem to be more complete.
How
The
tall are
of
these
course
buildings?
the moss and overgrowth kind of continue on that arch just like the rest of the buildings, but it seems like the door itself is newer.
Shall we go knock? Or I mean, we could just kind of walk around the side and look.
Oh, a quick strategy meeting. What if we do find a humanoid in here? Do we just let Ulrich hang out with them alone for a little while, or?
Sure.
Okay, just checking.
The care and feeding of a vampire is a new experience, I think, for all of us.
Should we hog tie them, perhaps? Restrain them in some way?
We do what must be done.
You know, I'm right here.
And you've offered no suggestions.
Hush, John. Adults are talking now. We'll get
What
you
is
one
your
in a minute.
preference?
Okay, I'm just gonna. Eric's just gonna walk over and see if there's anything behind the door.
All right.
Hey, is there anything back here? No.
So you see the other side of the large double door. And as a reminder, there is no roof to this building.
Zippo will hold on to his orb and hop off Brunhild and just kind of leave her here for now.
Let's see
I will
if
go
I
open the door
have-
if I can.
I think I had a dog. You know what? I do. It's in a folder. Let's see here. Party.
I thought it was in a bag.
Oh, why is Brunhild not in there? Here, let's just Mastiff.
Eric pokes his head through the door. Sup?
Hi.
That is a mighty fine door.
All right, so you've opened the door. I'm gonna need
Yeah, I
everybody to
did.
stop. You were on the other side of the door, correct?
Yeah, I walked through the door.
You do not walk through the door. That's why I said once you open the door, stop. All right, let me get Brunhild out here, and then we'll continue. I'm gonna do this one. This is Brunhild over here. All right, so there is. Let's say there's a right door and a left door. Which one have you opened, Yarvik?
I actually didn't open the door.
I did.
Okay, so you said you poked your head through the door, so that's why.
Yeah, I poked the head through the door that Zippo opened.
I see. Okay, so you do not, in fact, see Zippo as the door comes open. Zippo, you do not, in fact, see Yarvik. Instead, you see an entirely different area. It does not look like the same area. In fact, it looks like the inside of a barn, maybe.
Oh,
Any humanoids in there?
guys, I think this is a barn. And
So-
then I'll peek my head through.
So wait, so that's his perspective. What is my perspective?
you see what looks like a series of buildings with people walking around.
So I'm going to yell that, and then I'm going to watch the people and see if they hear me. So I'm going to tell Zippo, hey, I see a bunch of people over here through this door. What do you see? And then I want to look at the people to see if they hear me.
I see a barn.
So the people don't seem to react to you at this point.
Huh. I'm going to throw a rock through the door. I'm just going to reach down on the ground. I'm going to pick up a rock. I'm not going to throw it far, just a couple feet on the side of the door. Just want to
Ulrich,
see.
what's your AC?
You're controlling Ulrich right now.
Or sorry, not Ulrich. Yarvik. What's your AC?
17.
Okay. Okay. One of the what appeared to be moss detaches itself from the arch above the door, and a tentacle-like appendage comes down and strikes the ground next to you. It completely misses you. Maybe it's disoriented from you opening the door. Maybe it was resting, but it attacks you. And as it does so, it also slams the door shut again. Zippo, you can no longer see the barn that you saw. You also did not see the attack. Yarvik, you're the only one that has seen this attack since you're on this side of the door. However, I do need everyone to make wisdom saving throws, please.
Excellent.
All right. So let's see here. Okay, Yarvik, Banewall, Zippo.
This isn't by chance a charm effect, is it?
Uh,
I have
it is
advantage
not.
on this.
No.
Charm.
So you, everyone feels. Okay, so the DC was an 18. Did anybody fail by more than 5? It looks like Belzian did, correct? Yeah.
Looks like it. Belzian is not feeling wise today.
Okay. So for everyone who failed by less than 5, you feel a faint buzzing in your head for a moment, and you'll have a disadvantage on your next attack roll, saving throw, or ability check, whatever comes first.
Okie dokie.
Bane, yours is worse. You are subjected to the confusion spell for 1 minute. So
Okay.
confusion means that when you so an affected target can't take reactions and must roll a d10 at the start of each turn to determine its own behavior for that turn. So each creature in a 10-foot radius sphere centered on a point you choose within. Oh yeah, so sorry, that's the beginning of the confusion. So yeah, so I'm going to put the roll table on. Oh no, I just rolled a table. Sorry. Let me see if I can display spell card. There we go. So this is what you have. So on a roll of 1, you use all your movement to move in a random direction. Determine with a d8. 2 to 6, creature doesn't move or attack. 7 or 8, the creature uses its action to make a melee attack against a randomly determined creature within its reach. And then 9 to 10, you act and move normally. Okay. So you can make a saving throw each turn to try and combat that.
Okay. Do I also have the disadvantage on checks that everyone else has?
Correct. Yes. Actually, no. Let me see here. It's instead subjected to confusion, so you only have the confusion spell.
Okie dokie. Wonderful.
All right. With that being said, I'm gonna close the door. Or could you close the door? It's just easier. Zippo, thank you. And we will roll initiative, but there's only one person in the group that knows that initiative needs to be rolled. So just keep that in mind.
Well, we all felt whatever that was.
Holy crap! We got killer.
That's
we got
fair.
killer vines here.
Yeah, you all did have to roll. You all had a wave of something hit you. The only person that succeeded was Ulrich, of course. So
Also, the least useful time for me to max out my initiative roll.
yeah, that is absolutely the case. Yes. All right, Roger got a 30. Jaeger also critted, but only got a 25. Belzian got a 12.
Only a 25.
Only 25.
It do be like that sometimes.
Zippo got a 19.
The game that I'm running has 2 halflings with maxed out dexterity and improved initiative because this is 3rd edition. So we've got 2 people with +8 or better initiative in the game that I'm running. I'm used to seeing initiative numbers in the high 20s.
That's great.
Sometimes you got to take initiative.
Indeed.
And then Ulrich got a 12. Belzian, what's your dex?
Dex or dex modifier?
Dex modifier.
Is +5.
Perfect. All right, you're going before Ulrich. I'll just make him an 11. Ulrich is going last. All right. So, top of the round. Go ahead, Roger.
Yep, it's me. Well, I don't know what's going on, right?
Correct.
Something zapped my head, and now I'm on high alert. I guess I didn't see anything happen out here, so the natural assumption is whatever happened is inside the building. So let's go check on that. 6, 7. Can I see any? Oh, didn't like me moving there. All right, there we go. Can I see anything from here?
Yeah, you can see that the entire area around the door seems to have tentacles that have been kind of unwielded from the door and are now kind of swinging away angrily at Yarvik. They're low, though, so you wouldn't have been able to see them from the other side, seeing over the roof.
Alrighty. I will shout a warning out to the rest of the party. Tentacles on the inside of the wall. And then I will shoot at said tentacles.
Okay.
And I get assassinate here because they have.
It has
Not
already
yet.
gone. It had the
It has
surprise
already
round.
gone.
Yep. Sorry, buddy.
Well, it hasn't taken a turn in combat yet.
Technically, the surprise round is combat. It's just not part of the initiative order.
That's not actually how 5th edition surprise works, but I'll roll with it.
I will look it up while we go. Feel free to
You're
roll
thinking
as if.
You're thinking 3rd edition surprise. But yeah, I will just make it
technically,
regular
5th
attack roll
edition
then.
doesn't have a surprise round. Or a
Oh, it has
surprise
a-
condition. It's a new term.
It does have the surprised condition. That's the 5th edition thing, which persists for 1 round, which makes it seem like it has a surprise round, but initiative still happens normally.
Well, conditions aren't really a thing anymore. The way... Let's see here.
I'm going to roll anyway.
Yeah, go ahead.
It doesn't matter. I got a 1.
All right. Never mind. So technically surprise round it's the first round of combat, but everyone else is surprised, so they don't have an action until the next round. So this is technically round 2.
For the purposes of surprised, initiative does matter in the surprise round, because if you win initiative in the surprise round, then you don't have the surprised condition anymore. But yeah. Even though you lose your turn still. But anyway, I guess with my my rogue bonus action here, I can dash further forward into the room. Yeah, well, I'll dash back here. This gives me distance but visibility still. And I'll end my turn.
Okay. And you were attempting to shoot at it, right? I assume.
Yes.
Okay.
And that arrow strikes something unimportant.
All right. It is now Yarvik.
All right. Since I'm kind of danger close and I want to try to create some distance, I want to kind of disengage and move back away from this thing using the short sword.
Are you using the disengage action?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the one that doesn't provoke the attack of opportunity, right?
So
I mean, I guess it still does, but I guess I can defend against it. I'm not sure.
No, when you disengage, you don't provoke attacks of opportunity with your movement.
Yeah.
But disengaging is an action.
It's a full action.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can do that and then move your 30 feet and then you're done for the round.
Yes.
You still have a bonus action.
True. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to do that. So I'm going to disengage, step back to where Roger's at, and then I'm going to take. Well, I'll take 1 shot since I'll have 1 shot.
So do you have a bonus action that allows you to attack?
That's a good question. Where do I look to find that?
You can check your spells, see if there's a spell that allows you to do a bonus action.
Yeah, the normal 2 attacks are just part of your action with extra attack for the classes that get that. It's not a bonus action. Both attacks are the action.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, I'm not gonna sweat over one additional attack for this. So I'm just gonna disengage and I'm gonna fall back.
Copy that.
There we go.
Zippo.
I've seen Roger run by, but I haven't personally been hit by anything yet. So I'd like to open the door again.
Okay. You see through into the barn.
Do I see any animals in the barn?
No, it's a barn filled with hay. It seems like it's empty at the moment.
Can I shoot a firebolt into the hot hay?
Okay. Does Firebolt have a burning area? Or is
That's
it
a
just
good
kind of a
question.
torch?
Let's see here. A flammable object hit by the spell ignites if it isn't being worn or carried.
Copy. All right, so you set the barn on fire.
Yes. I then shut the door.
Okay.
If it's not an action or a free action or anything.
I'll let you open and close the door as one action.
Okay, if it's an action, then I can't firebolt this turn. I'll have to do it next turn. Firebolt's an action.
I'll let the door be a bonus.
Sweet.
It's opening and closing freely. If it was something where you had to either unlock it or force it open or something of the sort, I would say it would be more. I would say actually, you know what? Let's just do it this way. It's a move action to open and close the door.
Awesome. I'll do that, and then I'll look back to Belzy and be like, dude, this is great.
Belzian babbles something incoherently.
As Zippo turns to look at Belzian and say, "This is awesome." Tentacles rear up from above the door and begin attacking Zippo in earnest. Let's see here. All right, does a 17 hit?
No, I'll shield, so my AC would be a 19.
So a 14 won't either. What about an 18?
My AC's 19 right now. With
19,
shield.
you said. Okay, sorry. All right.
No, you're good.
3 misses. All right. Everyone. Oh, okay. All right. So this round, I didn't do something. That's fine. We'll pick it up next round. That's totally fine. Yeah, so basically what happens is some of the tentacles on your end, Roger and Ulrich, kind of go across the arch over the top and strike at Zippo on the other side. So whatever it is, it can move.
Are there still tentacles visible from this side?
Yes.
Okay.
They're kind of up on top at the moment. Okay. Let's see here. Next is Belzian. Confused Belzian.
What is going on? All right, we got to figure out which number is which direction. Belzian's gonna go for a jolly jaunt in a random direction.
So you go straight north.
Okay. 1, 10, 15.
You can clamber over the wall. It'll take half your move to get over to the other side. So that, what's your move right now? 45, 50?
50.
Okay, so you'd be able to get over the wall, and you'd still have 10 movement left.
Okay, I think
Done.
I could go to the edge of the map here.
All right.
And I will make a wisdom save. Try to not be confused anymore.
Sounds good. 18 beats it.
18. Belzian is relieved and only slightly concerned why he's way over here now. And that's all he's going to do for his turn for now.
Sounds good. All right, Ulrich, seeing this creature now kind of topping over the wall, draws his weapon, and or no, actually he casts spiritual weapon, so he'll cast that, and it'll be his favorite axe. And he'll, come on. Let's see. He can summon it 20 feet. Oh, wait, no, he can, range is 60 feet, so he can have it be here. So he'll float it up, and he'll attack with the spiritual weapon. And he'll move I guess up to it over here to you know what, he'll keep his distance until he knows what he's dealing with, and attack with the spiritual weapon, which misses. All right, Roger.
And I can still see it from this side, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we're going to fire off another shot at it.
Okay. Remember, you have disadvantage. Oh, wait, no. Actually, so sorry. Here's where I missed last time. So go ahead and roll a DC Wisdom save, because you are still within 30 feet of it.
Oh, this is every round, huh?
Yep.
All right. Well, this one's a 24.
Okay. Yeah, you had disadvantage last time when you critically failed.
I have to say, I don't think I could have made it worse last time, but you never know.
But since it is the top of the round, do we want to take a 10-minute? Since I just realized it's past 9.
We can. Can I make my attack roll first, though?
You can.
Does a 26 hit?
Yeah, it hits.
And I don't know if anybody's adjacent to it on the other side, but if they are, then sneak attacks does apply. Otherwise, it's going to take 9 regular damage and a d6 of acid damage, assuming it's not resistant to acid.
So the thing is, it's up on top. Zippo is not threatening it from where it is. The spiritual weapon, I don't think gets you an attack.
No, it's not a creature.
So, yeah, it's not a sneak attack, unfortunately.
So just 9 piercing damage and then 2 acid damage.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna move here and use my bonus action to hide. Since I am out of sight. And then I'll end my turn.
All right. So okay. All right. Perfect. All right. So we'll be up to Yarvik next. We'll take a 10-minute break, and when we're back, we'll continue fighting this thing. Welcome back, everyone, to the... Whoa, everything's down. One sec. All right, we are back from the break. We are in midst combat. I should probably put a thing out for you folks to kind of see what this thing is. But while we're doing that, just pretend that the door is it, because that's pretty much what it is, right? So, it is Yarvik's turn.
Time to shoot stuff, guys. Wake up. Let's see. Pull up my thing here. Hold on. There we go. All right. Gonna go with let's see. Black Arrow first. That's 1d6 force damage on top of the a successful hit.
And what's the hit? Let's see. Did you
Well,
roll?
it's what's yeah. If you hit, then oh, I see the door there.
Could you roll a wisdom saving throw for me first? Okay. You are confused. So go ahead and roll a d10 for me. Okay. So, a 2. You do not move or take an action this turn.
Trevor just stares at the door and kind of drools.
All right. Zippo. Make a wisdom save, please. All right, roll a 1d10. This is escalating.
9 again.
Okay. So, 9 is... Let's see. Creature can act and move normally. GG.
Yay. Yeah, I'm
Zippo
gonna
is
move.
confused. Nothing is different.
Yeah. This is me 24/7. I'm gonna move over next to Ulrich.
Okay.
Feel his paladinly goodness aura.
All right. I'm going to take an attack against you.
Yeah.
24 hits.
Yeah.
And you take 21 acid damage as the tentacle slaps at you and splashes a acidic substance on you.
I'm very upsetted.
All right.
Okay.
You're over by Ulrich.
Yep. And I'm going to cast a spell.
Okay.
I need it to give me an intelligence saving throw, please.
Okay.
DC 17.
I got a 17.
Dang. Okay, let's see. So you're taking half damage if you pass. So half of 32 would be what, 17? No, 16. I'm taking 34.
And I'm going to try and play some music. There we go. All right. There we go. All right. All right. So, that was the psychic damage. Yeah. So you upscaled that to 5th level. So half of 32, you said?
Yep.
So 16.
Mhm.
And you said that's psychic.
And do we make the saving throw at the end of our turns as well, or no?
Say
We're
again?
confused. the confusion people, do we make the saving throw at the end of our turn to pass the confusion or no?
Saving throw will be at the beginning of your next. All right. Its turn. Let's see here. Oh, I'm snapping to corner. I need snap to center. All right, I can still get you. But will I? Yes, I will. All right, so it's gonna move off the door. And by it moving off the door, it's the whole door. The whole door moves out. So it's a slow moving portal. Well,
It's a mimic.
So the door moves. So I'm going to delete this door now, just as a helpful thing for you folks. In fact, I'm just going to move it into the wall just so you don't have to worry about it. Yeah. So the door moves. The door is still fully actually, you know what? I'm going to, based on, just to be less confusing, this door still exists. It's still there. But the vine work is moving. Just because it looks like the door is moving around, right? Because that's just the image we have. But just trust me, it's not the door, it's just the vines. Okay. So it moves forward so that it can attack both of these two. And it's going to, let's try Yarvik first, or not Yarvik, Ulrich first. And it hits for 25 and does 22 acid damage. Let me mark that for Ulrich. It also reaches for Zippo. And crits. So Zippo, that's 27, I think. Let's see here. Yeah, 27 damage. And this is all acid. All right. Belzian.
How'd I get over here? Belzian can still see Zippo, so he's going to jog over there to see what's going on. Hold on. I know how to use roll.
Give me a wisdom saving throw first.
Oh, okay.
All right. Yeah.
22.
You jog around.
Okay.
Jog right around.
And he goes, Gadzooks, by the 12, what is that?
Yeah.
And we'll immediately start hucking some darts.
It's a creature made out of red eyes and vine-like tentacles. And
Why does it smell like acid over here?
Move this over here because I think this is what's causing the issue. Yeah, okay. Looks like it's good now. It's Goth, it's because I have 2 screens instead of 3. Continue, sorry.
I'm gonna whip a couple darts at it.
Okay. And where are you now?
I am by Zippo.
Oh, you're right behind Ulrich. You're in the same spot as Ulrich.
Okay, Ulrich is below Zippo on my screen. Okay.
Oh, interesting. Does that fix it?
Okay, then I'm there. There we go. I see what happened. It wasn't my fault at all. Does an 18 or 19 hit?
Let's see. They do. Yes.
All right, that'll be 15 piercing.
Piercing damage. All right. All right.
And then I will strike a patient defense by using a key point for bonus action. And that's all for Belzian for now.
Sounds good. Ulrich is going to strike back while he can. He's going to close. Actually, you know what? Before we do that, let's do confusion. Or not confusion, wisdom. Wisdom. I fail, but not by 5, so it's just a disadvantage. Fortunately. Alright, so he'll move up to close. I'll attack with his spiritual weapon first. That hits and does full damage, 13. Very nice. I'll mark that down. Okay, and then Ulrich is going to attack as well. So Ulrich does not currently have any weapons. That can't be right. Didn't he used to have a mace?
No, he used to have several weapons, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he's down a mace and shield these days.
Let's look at his
Yeah, 'cause he gave the axe away.
Ulrich. Crossbow, mace. There it is. He has it unchecked.
Maybe he unchecked it during the talk to the queen and never
Correct.
rechecked it
That's
later.
gotta be it. Yeah. All right. So going back to his attacks. Okay, that's better. All right, a 16 misses. We're at high enough level where he has 2 attacks, though, doesn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 attacks per action. Oh yeah, and I actually have to roll at disadvantage, don't I?
The
Yeah,
first
that
one
was
would have been
the
disadvantage.
one. Yeah, so it would have been the 19. So yeah, so looking at this mess, so the spiritual weapon, and then the 16 and the 19 were the 2, with the 16 being the disadvantage, and then the 14 being the next one, which is a miss as well. So yeah, nothing. Okay, so that is the top of the round. So it's Roger next.
Okay.
Do
I need to make a save?
Please? Oh wait, actually, let's look at how far you are away because it did move away from you. Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm probably gonna end up moving next to it or close to it anyway.
For sure. You make it.
Hey, we
nice.
passed. All right, cool. I will take advantage of having been hidden to actually get some sneak attack this round.
See.
I'll pop out and fire at it, and if it was not aware of me, I'll be attacking with advantage.
Yeah, it's mainly focused on the 2 over here. And that being said, there is still a wall in the way, but you can still see a bundle kind of peeking over the top.
Well, does a 15 hit?
It does not.
Then I will complete my movement by going further this way.
Okay.
and using a bonus action to hide.
Copy. Okay. Good to know. Very nice. Yarvik.
I guess Yarvik. I guess the first thing to do is a wisdom.
Correct.
Wisdom save.
Actually, no, you're so confused, right?
Yeah, I guess.
So you're gonna have to make the save to try and beat it. Yeah.
All right.
You do not. All right, roll a d10. Okay, 1 is moving in a random direction. Roll a 1d8 to determine the direction. 1 being up, and you'll go clockwise from there. Okay, you're going straight toward it at full move.
Perfect. This is a disaster.
You'll be basically up against the door that's closed. So you won't be able to see it at this point.
What a lovely door.
But you do have move. What's your move?
Just whatever base human speed is. What, a 30?
30 foot?
Yeah.
So you have 5 foot more of movement and a door in your way. Are you going to move through the door?
The door is closed.
Yes.
I don't know what my level of confusion is. I would say no, but I don't know. Like, guessing no.
You want to flip it?
Sure, let's flip.
Odds
So how
you
how do
go
we
through
do-
the door, evens you stay here.
Sure, how do we do that?
Just roll any dice. It's an odd or even, so it's an even split either way. Odds you go through the door. All right, so you are entering the door from your side, meaning that you were the one that saw the townspeople, right?
Right.
Okay. You step through the door and you are in this town. Behind you, the building is on fire.
Am I still confused?
Yes.
Or am I outside the realm, the
You're
reach of
still
it?
confused.
So I'm just gonna stand there. I kind of look around me, and the building's on fire, and that's hot.
Yeah,
So
you
I
kind of
don't
just
think-
stumble out of the building. But,
just kind of stumble, like,
yeah.
what?
There are people gathering that are concerned about the building being on fire. They haven't really interacted with you yet, though. All right. Next up is Zippo.
An 8. I get a +5. I think it is. That's all works. Charisma modifier.
Yes,
Doesn't help any here, but
but wisdom is not charisma, right?
no. But he has a paladin aura that everybody that
Okay,
makes a
yeah,
save in his thing gets +5.
That's fair. Yeah. So yeah, 8 does not. Roll a 1d10.
5.
5 means you
Don't do anything.
don't take any actions. Womp womp. Sorry, buddy. All right, it goes. Let's make an attack. It's gonna move. Let's see. It moves up 1 more. And it's going to take 1 shot at each of the 3 of you. So we'll start with Zippo. a 12, so it's a miss. Ulrich is a 21. That's a hit. And Bane, you got a 20. That's a hit, correct?
Correct.
All right, so Bane, you take 18 points of acid. So too does Ulrich. As tentacles lash out in 3 directions at the 3 of you. One just narrowly missing Zippo. All right. That is its turn. Belzian.
Belzian says, "How can she slap?" and moves in for more slaps.
Well, before that, please make a wisdom saving throw.
15, but I'm near Ulrich, so I think that's a 20.
So you 20. You beat it.
Okay. How can she slap? No, not advantage. This one. I'll do a flurry of strikes here.
Okay. Anything? Let's see. You make it with. Is that a critical?
Yeah.
Okay, you make it with the critical, the second attack, and the third attack, or in the fifth attack. First, second, and fourth. There it is.
Okay.
So what's that? 22, 31.
31.
Nice damage. All right. Anything else?
That's all for now.
Okie doke. Ulrich attacks once he makes a save. Wisdom. Ooh. Okay, he failed, but not by enough, so it's just the disadvantage. All right. We'll do. Let's see. I'm gonna have him. Let's see. All right, so I'm gonna attack with mine first. Mace. That's let's roll a second time for the disadvantage. Okay. And then a second attack. That's a hit. Plus smite for divine smite. Okay. And then we'll do the spiritual weapon. That's a hit. Okay. So all those rolls, let's see here. 10 plus 9, so 19. Hey, Ulrich, yay. I don't like this creature much. And Roger, your turn.
Alrighty. I am going to move out this way instead. Am I far enough away that I'm not in the confusion aura?
Yes.
Huzzah. We're gonna try and keep it that way. 3, 4, 5, 7. There. Now I can see it and still be far enough away, I think. Yes. um And now I will shoot at it. And I was hidden, so I should have advantage.
Not to mention the fact that Ulrich is on the other side of it.
Well, he wouldn't give me advantage, but he would give me sneak attack.
That's fair. Got it. I'm reacquainting myself with combat. Advantage
All good.
25. Hit.
Huzzah! And now for the big pile of dice.
There we go.
And a d6 of acid damage, which, since it's doing acid damage, maybe doesn't even matter. but if it does matter, there's a point of it.
Got it. All right.
And then I'm going to use my bonus action to cunningly move back over here.
Okay.
And I won't be hidden, but that's okay. That's my turn.
The creature looks fairly injured at this point. Yarvik, roll a saving throw to break confusion. You break confusion. You find yourself in a town. People are hurriedly trying to douse the barn fire that is behind you. The door does not seem to be on fire.
Do I know how I got here? Or
No.
am I just like waking up from a dream?
You're waking up from a dream, but this does look familiar. You've seen this place recently.
Quick! What town is this? Where am I? Grabbing a local passerby who probably has a bucket trying to put out the fire.
Well, I'm with the Licht Fire Brigade. Grab a bucket.
Okay, fine. Give me a bucket. But where am I?
Licht! And he shoves a bucket into your hand.
Okay, cool. I'm going to grab a bucket. I'm going to find water. And then I'm going to yell through the door.
Door's
Come
closed.
here! So the action is going to look like Yarvik grabs a bucket, he throws water on the fire, and then he sticks his head through the door. Come through the door! This is Licht! Come through the door!
All right, so the door. Could you open up the door for me again? I don't know why I don't have the option to. Oh, okay, I see how I can do it. There we go. I think multiple people were doing it. All right, so Zippo, Belzian, and Ulrich see the door open, and a roaring fire is on the other side of the door. And muffled voices on the other side.
When the door opens, I'm gonna look to Ulrich and be like, I did that, by the way.
Roger, make a perception check. Actually, I'm gonna do passive perception here because you're not actively trying.
It's okay. I would have rolled badly enough that my rogue expertise makes that a 23 anyway.
What's your passive?
23.
Okay. Yeah, you don't hear it. You're too far away. If it was 25, yeah, you would have heard it, but you hear stuff going on over there, but you can't really make it out.
Okay.
Zippo.
I think I've probably used about all of my action for this round. The only other thing I could think I could do would be to like...
Yeah, 19.
Oh, sorry.
Good.
Would be to what? Sorry. Yeah.
Like
Go ahead.
a proper wedge open the door so the door doesn't close.
Okay. What are you doing to wedge it? Like just putting the bucket in between the doors so it can't
Yeah,
close.
exactly. Just put in the bucket, or like if there's a piece of wood or something that has fallen, just something to keep the door open.
Sure.
But I'm staying in Licht for right now.
All right, Zippo.
19 with Auric bonus.
Yep, you're good.
Yay! I don't like this thing.
Mhm.
And I'm going to, on the safe assumption, the spiritual weapon looks like it's been doing damage, right?
It does.
Like, okay, like it looks like it's been hitting, and the thing hasn't been ignoring the damage it's taken.
Correct.
So, in that thought process, I'm going to cast Disintegrate.
Okay.
I would like for it to give me a Dexterity saving throw, please.
All right.
I rolled a lot of ones.
What's the save?
DC 17.
I beat it.
Okay, so you take half damage.
33, right?
Yep.
And disintegrate is straight damage, force damage.
Yeah, force damage.
Okay. All right. It's still up. Tanked it.
Okay. I will, no, that's not what I'm going to do. I will stay there. I was trying to move my map and accidentally grabbed my character. But you're good. I'm done, Zeus.
All right. Next up is the creature. Seeing that you spent some pretty damaging spells on it, you've done the most damage. It focuses its tentacles on you. First attack misses. We got a second crit. 28 damage for the first crit. And
Okay.
third attack misses as well.
How's this?
It's going to move through the open door and into the barn. Ulrich gets a attack of opportunity, so does Belzian. Belzian, that hits. And then Ulrich has... I guess the spiritual weapon also gets one too, doesn't it? Ulrich hits. Spiritual weapon misses. All right, Belzian, what did you get? An 11?
Ah, I lost my window. Yes, 11.
Okay. And Ulrich...
Random question. Does Ulrich have Sentinel?
Is that a feature trait?
It's a feat.
He does not, I don't think.
Okay, I remember him talking about taking it maybe once, but I didn't know if he ever did or not.
Let's see. Control find scent. No.
No? Okay. Dang.
So Ulrich did make it with his mace and takes 7. All right. It's
Did
still
not take
up.
radiant damage?
What? Oh, thank you.
Oh, it's got the 3 radiant damage on there, so it'd be 10 total.
All right. Yeah, he's still up. Let's see here. Belzian.
Hello. Do I need to make a wisdom saving throw?
You do not.
Did the door thing go in the door?
It did. It's in the burning
Into the
barn.
fire?
Yeah. Seems to be fine. Through the door, it doesn't even seem to be on fire.
I'll move 10 feet. Or 15, I guess. He thinks it's warm in there. I'll huck a dart at it through the door.
Okay.
Or a couple darts. An 18 and a 23.
Roll at do I have you roll at disadvantage here?
Is it farther than 20 feet away?
Well,
or is it? Yeah, I guess that's hard to say, hey?
it yes and no. It's more because it's really, really smoky in there and hard to see in.
I don't have smoke vision.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do disadvantage, see what happens.
Okay, I'll just roll 2 more darts then.
Correct. Yeah. All right, I'm going to count the first attack as the 18 and 23 and the second attack as the 10 and 11. So you hit once.
Okay. 6 piercing.
All right.
Belzian will point to the doorway and be like, huh?
All right.
And that's about it.
So, something happens when you throw that final dart through, or that first dart through. You hit the beast, and acid begins spraying out of it. The door itself begins to shine with light, and it begins to tremble and vibrate. And pieces of it start falling off. You can see through those pieces through to the other side, to the empty ruin behind. It seems like the door is starting to fail. Yarvik, you see this on your side too, being that you're right next to the door. You see that the door is shimmering with energy and starting to tear. Meanwhile, as a group, you see kind of projecting out of the door in 3 lines. Why isn't it not? Okay, in 3 lines here. 3 beams of light coming out the door, and some figures are starting to form. They don't look friendly. So they're like right behind you, Belzian and Ulrich.
Oh, behind us?
Yes.
I think we should get to the door.
Yeah, let's go.
That might be a problem for me.
You can run, can't you?
You can dash, can't you?
I can move pretty fast. I don't know if I can.
Can't you bonus action dash?
Yeah, I could dash, move, and bonus action dash, I guess.
Yeah, because if you dash, it'd be 60, and if you bonus action dash, it'd be 120. So you should be able to get there without any issue.
135 actually, because I'm a wood elf.
Ulrich,
true, yeah.
Ulrich says, "We're going through the door."
Yeah.
Maybe somebody grab Brunhild.
Brunhild will have to run.
All right.
She should make it in time.
All right. So we'll do this by turns still. Ulrich
I still have movement left.
will run through the door. Oh wait, you have movement left? Yeah, go ahead.
15. I got 35
Okay.
feet, so I'll just move into the door. Or through the glowingness door.
Okay.
Shimmering? There's the word.
Yeah, shimmering. Yeah, it seems to be like fading out of existence in a splintery way.
I'll Dark Soul roll through the door dramatically, just for good measure.
Copy.
And that's all for now, since I don't have any movement left.
Okay. You are now in a burning building. Take 1d6 damage. Fire.
Yay! Hot enough for you?
All right, 5 damage. All right, Ulrich moves into the burning building as well. Coincidentally, the barn is about as big as this room that we're entering into. It's a little bit bigger. It's about the size of the room adjacent to it. So it's what, like 20 feet? Yeah, 20 feet instead of 15. Or, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 25 feet. 25 feet by 20. 25 by 20. Yeah. All right. Perfect. So, yeah, there does seem to be another door at the end of the area, but you'd have to move through the fire to do it. Ulrich staying closer to this side where the last burning is, but still takes damage. It takes 1 point of fire damage. All right. Next up is Roger.
We're really doing this, huh? All right. Then, bonus action dash.
You went up one more than you needed to, so you can get through.
Okay. Yep. That I actually still have my action in that case.
Yeah.
Though if I'm reading the situation correctly, I'm now in melee range with the thing.
The thing's dead.
Oh, it's dead?
Yeah.
In that case, I'm going to actually dash and get the fuck out of here. Excuse me coming through. Whichever way is out. Not back the way we came, but out into...
There is no out at the moment. There is a open door to where you came from and fire. You can kind of see through the shimmering door. You can see glimpses of Ulrich on the other side of the shimmer, but right now there is a portal kind of between you and the way out. Unless you want to go through the fire, of course.
Like there's holes in the wall that are just on fire that I could walk through?
There's a door on the opposite side of this room that is closed, but not, as far as you know, a portal. It's probably a normal door.
What's the ground made out of?
Dirt and straw that is on fire. Thank you, Zippo.
All right. Well, I can assist here. I have mold earth. It'll take 2 turns. I can dig us out without us having to step in the fire.
Currently, everybody else in the party is burning. You're the only one. You've taken the only corner where there is no fire yet.
Huzzah. Well, I will mold earth. Actually, you know what? That might end up in me getting collapsing the barn on me. That might be bad.
Okay.
It has occurred to me that is a possible consequence of the action I'm about to take. So in that case, I guess I'll mold earth um, underneath the door where it's on fire, and just kind of dig a pit out underneath it so we could escape.
So the door over here or the portal door?
The one that the door on the other side where it's currently fire, as you said, not the portal.
Yeah.
Um, the intent is to dig out like a 5 foot cube halfway underneath the door so that we can like get in and out the other side if the door is impassable.
Sure. Sounds good.
And I'll have the dirt because mold earth says that it gets moved up to the side up to 5 feet away.
Yeah.
So I guess I will dump the dirt on the inside and maybe hope to put some of the fire out.
Okay. Yeah, you do seem to like douse some of the straw to the right and left of it.
Cool, that'll be my turn.
All right. Yarvik.
All right. I'm assuming there's a lot of chaos. The villagers are trying to put out the fire from my side. Is there any way? Do I hear anything coming from the inside the building that might indicate what's going on, or is it what's I guess the question is there enough to go on to do a perception check to see if there's anybody inside the building? Because I was yelling at them to try to come through the door.
You can see figures on the other side. You see Belzian through some of the shimmer of the portal.
Okay, and it's a barn, right?
Yep.
So if they're probably right on the other side. We're just standing on the opposite sides of the wall, right? If the barn is kind of on fire, I'm just gonna try to go through the door beside the wall. I'm just gonna bang on the hey guys, and attack the wall with my short sword because it's a barn, right? Like it's planks of wood. If they're on fire, it might be weak enough. I mean, I'm either gonna do some damage or I'm gonna get their attention one way or the other.
Okay.
I have no idea what the AC of a wall is.
Yeah, you hit it.
Plunk. Hey guys!
The person that you took the bucket from again, peers through the shimmer and kind of reads what you're doing. There's people inside that barn. Somebody get them out! Somebody get them out! And people start to try and take action to help you. Since this magical wall is in place, going to an entirely different area. They're like kind of trying to avoid that area, seeing that the door is not the door that they want it to be, and try and help to break down the wall as well.
Awesome.
Zippo.
Okay, so I have two very important questions.
Yes.
First, and this is the most important one because the second one, like if it works, the first one will be irrelevant. But first, do we assume Brunhild automatically is willing for any spell I cast on her?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Second question: would you say that the fire inside is about the size of a small campfire?
No.
No, dang.
It's
This is a lot bigger than a campfire.
Yeah, I figured, but it never hurts to ask, you know.
Let's put it this way: when you lit the fire, it was 1 square, and it doubled each round since then.
Perfect. I don't regret a single action.
So, well, and by doubled, I mean every square that's adjacent to it, it spread to. So it went from 1 to 9 to 27. So I guess that's by the power of 3. Yeah, something like that.
Okay. All right. So, I'm going to holler for Brunhild to come over here. Does she take actions on the same turn as me, or
Correct.
is it like... Okay. Yeah, I will holler for her to come up to the door with me,
Okay.
and then I will go up to the door.
And What do you do? So let's see. What's her movement? How much movement does she have? 30?
Oh, sorry. I forgot I wasn't pushed to talking. She's got 40 feet of movement.
40. Okay.
Yes,
So do
she
you
can get
want
up
her
right
here?
next to me. Yeah, that way she can jump through the door with the last 5.
Okay.
And then would I be able to cast a spell on her as we're going through the door? Or would I have to do it before we go through the door?
You can cast a spell and allow her to move after that. You can break up movement as much as you need to.
Okay, perfect. Then I will cast the spell and I will transform her. I'm just double checking to make sure I can transform her into what I want. Actually, would it be safer for this? Yeah, actually, just to be on the absolute safe side, I'm going to polymorph her into a camel,
Okay.
and then have her move through and me through the door.
How much HP does a camel have?
It has 15,
Okay. All right.
so
So
she'll
she
be able
moves
to live at
in.
least once.
Roll fire damage. 1d6.
1.
Perfect. All right. What is
And
your
I
move?
move in as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I go in as well.
How far in do you move since all the spots are taken?
Let's see. Well, once I move in, let's see. Polymorph is an action. So, yeah, I guess I have to move one farther in than the rest of them.
All right. Take 2d6, please.
All right.
More intense there. All right. 8 damage. You're not doing too good, buddy.
No, I'm hurt. I'm very hurt.
All right. Yeah, this is, I think, the farthest down you've ever been, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Most of the time, I'm like nowhere near the fighting.
All right. And that's your turn?
Yep.
Okay. So for those of you on the burning side, the lines cut off, and you see 3 figures form. Something that is 2-headed, and has grasping tentacle-like arms, very demonic-like. Something more medium with a tentacle tongue that lashes out in your direction. It seems to be armored with a metallic spikes throughout, and a terrifying creature that has a serpent-like body, bat-like wings, and blazing horns, dark skin, and wicked-looking claws. Just looking at it seems to drain the hope from you. And then the door disappears.
Right
And
as
so
the
do
door
they.
disappears, Zippo looks to the rest of the party. We could have taken him as he's on fire, really bleeding, hurting.
All 3 of them look in through the portal as it closes, cursing at the group. Zippo, they're basically being very impolite and saying that they're coming to Licht to get you. You'll regret this, basically.
As they're like saying that, I just stick my tongue out at them.
All right. On this side of the door, the tentacled creature, finally collapses from its death throes, and some pieces of bodies fall off of the door frame that encapsulated the door itself. They fall to the ground. You see humanoid pieces like legs and arms and torsos and a head or two. There seem to be 5 separate bodies that were used for this.
What kind of barn is this? An on fire barn.
barn of the dead.
Perhaps we should step out of the barn.
That would be smart.
So I'm ending combat here, but the villagers make quick work of the area that Yarvik is attacking just behind Amethyst. Roger. And some people are coming from the other side, looking in through the dugout that Roger made. Say, yeah, they're in there. There's 3 of them in a 4 of them in a camel. And they make a big enough hole for Roger to get out. It's are camels medium or large?
Large.
Okay, the camel can actually now that the door is gone, can just waltz it right out the front. So Roger, the door, the wall opens up as they break it open, and then so does the door itself. That completely kind of vanishes.
Yeah, we run out.
All right.
Yeah.
Welcome to Licht.
As soon as we're like not on fire and are safe from the fire, I'll drop the transformation on Brunhild.
Okay.
And as I'm sitting there, like huffing, very obviously injured, like demons, 3 of them, coming this way. I need a potion. I stuck my tongue out them. They're very mad.
I'll put a couple of healing spells on what is clearly a very, thrashed Zippo.
Yeah, if Brunhild were to buck in her form, she probably would kill Zippo.
That sounds like a good fight.
Why did I get close? Never get close.
You were at 8, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, you can add 38 to that.
thank you. Anyway, the 3 demons, in no nice words at all, literally none, said they were coming to Lick to kill us. And I think I made them madder when I stuck my tongue out at them.
That may well be, but they may also kill everyone else here.
Yeah. Hear me
So
out.
just
Thought process.
yeah.
We tell the people, they go into panic mode. We dip into panic mode with them. We hide in their panic mode. And then when the demons come, we surprise attack them from groups of people, and they never expect it.
You're not
So we can
surprised
hide.
in anyone without a long rest, buddy.
Well, we were several.
Yeah, I
days,
kind of almost out of spells.
we were several days from Licht anyway, so if the demons are moving overland, we probably got a little bit of time to prepare.
Yeah, it only looked like one of them could fly.
We should still be on our guard, but I think we'll probably have at least one night.
I'm sure the townspeople would let us know if there is a demon sighting. They'll probably say something like, "Ah!"
Speaking of which, what does it actually look like, the town and the townsfolk and so forth from where we are?
Sure. So the town has kind of gathered you to one side to try and help you recover from all of your burns. Although there's not too many of them, you're kind of just more ashy and lightly singed. Zippo looks pretty battered from acid burns, which they mistake for heat burns. So they're kind of like busying about him as well. Since you dropped the spell on Brunhild, Brunhild looks very worried about Zippo and is like trying to lick his wounds. Although since there's still kind of acid being washed off of him, I assume you're probably going to try and discourage her from doing that.
Yeah, I'm kind of just having her stand over there for now. Like, it's okay, I'm fine. I don't want you to be hurt.
Is the barn still on fire?
It is still actively on fire, yes.
All right, I'm going to assist with the fire brigade, probably just by casting mold earth to dump dirt on top of the fire.
Okay.
One 5-foot cube at a time.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh,
So yeah, this is a fairly compact town on one side of a river. So they're pretty much the brigade is pulling water from the river and running it toward the barn. The barn is toward the river itself. More, it seems to be um, a holding barn for livestock. There is a field on the adjacent side. This was the business end. The other side was the, I guess if it's business, then pleasure end. I don't know, but ultimately, yeah. So the cows, of course, have the livestock have kind of kept away from the barn itself, and ultimately, yeah, it's fairly accessible, the river, so that's helpful in putting it out.
Question:
Yes.
would a cold dragon's breath put out like a fire?
Um, Potentially it could. I mean, cold could and is the
Would it
opposite
be
of
like a
fire.
frost breath?
I mean, you can always try it. I'm never going to discourage experimentation.
Okay. If the fire's still raging, like, you know,
Yeah,
I
it's
would.
it's caught. It's no longer on the ground or in the hay. It's caught to the structure itself. It's up in the
Yeah, I will. Kind of, thinking, cold would work here. Let's see. I think it's a silver dragonborn that's cold, right? Silver dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Zippo will summon a draconic spirit.
Okay.
In the form of a silver dragon, and have it use its cold breath to try to put it out. I would warn everybody as well, so they back up to let me try it, so I don't hit anybody and murder them.
Let's look at the breath weapon on silver. Cold breath. Doesn't really say much about the cold breath.
Icy blast of 60-foot cone and does cold damage. I didn't know if it would, but I figured it wouldn't hurt to try.
I mean, fire damage starts fires.
Yeah, that's what my thought was. Fire damage starts fires. There's no water damage, so figured it wouldn't hurt. Don't have control
So
weather, otherwise.
there definitely is some correlation between cold temperatures and putting out fires. Wind helps fire spread um, as it impacts the supply of oxygen. Burning fuel, cone of cold versus environmental fires. I'm very curious about what other people. Raw cone of cold doesn't put out fires. If a player
I
tried
mean,
it, I'd absolutely rule cool, and that's where I was leaning to. I was just curious what other people thought. Yeah, let's do it.
if
So go ahead.
yeah, I mean, if we're talking physics,
Hmm.
fire is three things, right? You
Right.
need you
Fuel,
need fuel, you need air, and you
air,
need heat. And
and
if you
heat.
take any of those three things away, you
Yeah.
do not have a fire.
Yep.
That's the fourth leg of the fire tetrahedron, the chemical chain reaction.
Well, that's yeah, but that happens spontaneously as soon as you get enough heat. Or enough oxygen for that matter. Fires happen at lower temperatures in places with higher oxygen. Also, to the right kind of fuel, it can happen at lower temperatures.
All right. So, the dragon begins spraying the barn with cold breath. Um, are those cones?
Yeah, I think it's a cone for the. I'll double check.
Double check for me. Yeah. In fact, go ahead and post it if you could. 2d6 damage of this type. Okay. 30-foot cone. Okay. Um, And is this breath weapon something that it can use each round? I don't see anything that's like a cooldown, right?
Yeah, it doesn't see one. I don't see
Yeah.
one on
Oh,
it at
cool.
least.
That's neat. All right. So you managed to put out the fire for sure, but with the with the wood weakened from the flames and you doing further cold damage, it makes the wood, especially the base wood, very brittle. And the barn, while doused, also collapses. Um, Everybody, especially with the water being added to it, right, and that getting So ultimately, yeah, you managed to put out the fire by destroying the barn, and it collapses in a heap in front of you.
I think everybody needs to take a moment to appreciate visually the incredible D&D moment that this was. We piled out of a door, we beat down a wall, people were on fire, everybody comes out and is standing in front of the barn, an ice dragon is summoned and puts out the fire by destroying the barn with cold breath.
Hell yeah.
That
We'd
is
love
a
to see it.
D&D movie intro. That is the cold open for a D&D movie right there.
Cold open, gain inspiration.
Very good.
Nice.
Very nice.
Great job. At least the barn didn't burn down.
Yeah, at least it didn't burn down. Yes.
Well, really, the villagers are probably saying, "Thank God the fire did not spread to any other buildings."
Yes. Yep. And the field next to it, right? Yeah. So
Yeah,
livestock are
the
all
crop
fine. Nobody died.
camel's gone, but we weren't expecting to have a camel, so that's okay.
Some people are like super excited by this turn of events in like a positive way. Others are kind of horrified. Um, the people who are running up with their buckets of water kind of um, pour one out for their home barn. And yeah, so yeah,
I'm
ultimately,
not. Sorry.
go ahead.
I was just saying I'm not normally a Joss Whedon fan, but if there is ever a time to utter the phrase, well, that just happened, this is that time.
All right, so you are now somehow in the town of Licht through mysterious forces. I actually expected that conflict to go a little differently, but I like where it ended. So that being said, I think this is a good stopping point. But we have a point here to kind of gather our thoughts about what just happened, and then we can kind of end it with that. So, yeah, I'll leave it to the group.
Yeah, after the dragon's done its thing, Zappo will look around and he'll look to like the party. We don't need the dragon anymore, right?
No, I think we're
I'm just double checking because I can't bring him back again till tomorrow.
Well, tell him thanks for us.
Okay. And then in Draconic, even though, it's just a spirit, he will say thanks and then release the spell.
Nice.
Then
Well,
he
that
will sit down and kind of just cleanse himself with prestidigitation. Get rid of like whatever acid's left so he can hug Brunhild
well,
and cry.
since Yarvik wasn't sucking down smoke in the barn, he's going to pull his pipe out and take a couple of puffs and kind of process. And then the thought that occurs to Yarvik is, I wonder how far away the army is.
We likely got here before they did. Belzian will sit down cross-legged on the ground and encourage everybody to do the same.
Can we check the orb and double confirm that we are where we think we are.
Yeah, so you check, you have Ulrich bring out the globe, and yep, sure enough, you can see that your big shiny is in Licht. You were over, if you're looking at the map, you were about here, or no, sorry, here even.
We're on that battle map
We're
still.
on the bottom map, yeah, we can't see the map.
Oh, I haven't moved you yet. My bad. Do. There we go. You bring up the globe, and the map appears. Yeah,
Huzzah.
as intended. There we go. So yeah, here is where you were, and here's the big ball now.
Has the little dot in along the road moved any further from this morning?
Yes. So this dot was by New Pod before.
Okay.
So
Well,
what you
we
thought
are
was a race that they would win, you have now won.
We gave them like the best head start, and they still lost. That's disappointing.
I vote we take a short rest. We can also take a long rest later, but I vote we take a short rest now, just in case.
That's probably a good idea.
That's fair.
I didn't
Well,
actually
we-
take any damage, but Zippo did.
Yeah.
So
And I would rather us conserve our spell slots
spells, yeah.
and have those of you that took damage be healed up and ready for a fight this evening if it comes to that. I don't know if those demons have another way to get here faster.
And it did seem pretty motivated. But how did they know that the portal went here?
Oh,
Did they make the portal?
I mean, they got to Relic via portal. Presumably, they've got some kind of command over that.
Wouldn't it be useful if we had some kind of command over that kind of thing?
it'd be nice if we had somebody that could cast teleport, Zippo says while looking away from the party.
It would definitely solve a lot of our problems.
I'm not
I
so
can-
much a magic man myself, but I'm wondering, are the demons able to produce it magically, or do they use a tool?
I mean, that two-headed guy looked like a tool.
Hey,
Yeah, do you want to like do any checks on what you just saw with with regards to A, the portal, or B, the process of events from how the portal closed, things like that?
yeah, can
I
I
mean-
try a history to see if I've read about any kind of portals in books?
Sure.
I could certainly roll Arcana, but that's probably going to be more productive as Zippo rolls.
Yeah, is anyone able to help Zippo?
No, you can't. They can't help on an Arcana check.
Yeah, I'll try an Arcana check.
I mean, I might as well roll.
Not too bad. Not great, but not too bad.
I'd say that was the expected result for me.
Great
Yeah.
job.
Roger, the order of events were the creature died, the portal closed, and as it was closing, so too did those things appear. Zippo, to kind of relay that same cause and effect, it seems that the portal was connected to that creature and the bodies on the other side of this door. Why those body pieces weren't seen by anyone working in the barn, you're not sure. Presumably there was some sort of enchantment that caused them to not be noticed, or perhaps those vines were also on this side and covering those. The other side of the coin is the connection with the portal closing and those creatures being pulled back. It seems like those creatures were extremely angry, and they kind of were starting to be summoned by the portal closing, almost as if their presence was connected to the portal.
So it's like they use the portal as like a focus point for them to be able to get somewhere, and then with us closing it caused that focus point to disappear, so it brought them back to where they started out.
Yeah. So you kind of get the sense that it was a rubber band effect. They were still, because they went through the portal, bound to that side of it. They were kind of borrowing space by being able to go through the portal and do what they were doing, wherever they were.
Okay. And my best guess, and this is just my thought process as like the player, my assumption is we wanted to go to Licht. We opened the door went to Licht. They wanted to go somewhere. They opened the door, it went there, which I assume would be not Licht. Otherwise, obviously, they'd have done run house over here.
That doesn't seem quite right based on your Arcana check, but you're not sure what is right. And the only reason I say that is because there were body parts on this side of the barn.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. I wonder how many of these creatures there are.
Belzian, with your history check, you remember Jordan mentioning in his messages that demons were appearing and disappearing, seemingly without, seemingly just out of nowhere, all throughout the region.
Belzian would share that, of course.
You just
One
recall that detail relayed to you by, I think it was Roger.
Yeah. Maybe the demons just really like ruins.
It's funny because we're going to ruin their day when we destroy the main portal.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Yeah, Zibba says that while he's petting on Brunhilde, she's like licking his face, and he's just like exhausted.
All right. So, I believe that's where we're going to end the session for today. So next time we will experience the town of Licht. You've only spent about half a day traveling, so you got plenty more time left in today to explore the town of Licht or do whatever you need to do. So that will be on September 3rd. Is when we are next meeting, because we meet every 2 weeks, hopefully. So everyone's good for the 3rd, correct?
Yep.
As far as we know.
Yeah.
It should be, yeah.
Okay, awesome. So I will say thank you out there for everyone who joined today. Goth, good to see you in here. Good to see new faces. And for anybody else who's following along, thank you for sticking with us. It's been a little bit since our last one, so I appreciate you tuning back in. So we will see you all in 2 weeks, where we will continue where we left off today. And until then, roll 20s and be safe. Bye.